All right, while you set up, I'll just talk. So, hey everyone, I'm Jenna Schulman, independent educational consultant in Florham Park, New Jersey. I am in red for Sacred Heart today. I have a crew, quite a crew on for Sacred Heart today. So they will be presenting. And for any of our East Hanover, Florham Park people, I know a few are on. One of the students is from East Hanover. I'll let him introduce himself after. But right now, I guess, Courtney, are you going to start it to talk all things Sacred Heart?
Yeah, so basically just to kind of lay out the overview here, what I'll do is I'll start with some introductions. The first kind of 5 slides are some introductions, and then I'll go into a little bit of academic information. I'll go through each of our colleges on campus, and then I'll go into extracurricular information and then the application process. So this portion I think will probably take up maybe half the time, maybe 30 or so minutes. And then we'll turn the tables. If you guys want to ask questions along the way, go ahead, and then Jenna will read them to us afterwards, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. So first here. So the first thing I kind of wanted to introduce to everyone, since everyone who has logged into this Zoom is from New Jersey, I first wanted to let you know Sacred Heart loves New Jersey. We definitely get a good amount of applications from New Jersey every year. So the way that we work in our admissions office is that we break up New Jersey, but for admissions counselors. And 2 of our team members are here today, so we'll introduce ourselves, and then I'll introduce the other 2 who are not here, because I was reading the list of everyone who had signed up before this, and it looks like a lot of areas of New Jersey are represented. I think I saw Bergen County, Morris County, Essex, Passaic. I think I even saw Monmouth County. So I want to make sure that everyone who's here today can connect with their admissions counselor and have their contact information. So first off, this is me. My name is Courtney McHenry. I am a Senior Associate Director in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Sacred Heart. I have worked at Sacred Heart for almost 3 years now, and I have recruited in various parts of New Jersey, but right now my assigned territories are Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, Gloucester, and Salem, so mostly South Jersey. My contact information is there, email, phone number, my very professional website headshot is there. So, and then I'm going to go into the next counselor who's with us tonight. This is Katie Radigan, and I'll let her kind of say hey to you all and introduce herself.
Guys, like Courtney said, I'm Katie Radigan. I'm actually rocking the same scarf right now. But yeah, so I typically recruit in Essex, Hunterdon, Morris, Passaic, Sussex, and Sussex County. So for any of you guys that are interested in Sacred Heart next year, I'm definitely going to be your girl. Below is my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out at all.
And Katie is from New Jersey as well. Not northern New Jersey, but she's from New Jersey as well.
I'm from Monmouth.
Oh, I went too fast. And then 2 of our other admissions colleagues I want to introduce for anyone who's from these counties. This is Sarah Lauer. She works with students from Bergen, Mercer, and Somerset. Any of you guys are from those counties, you might have seen her at college fairs. Her contact information is listed there. And then lastly, this is our 4th New Jersey admissions counselor. This is Robert Johnson, and he works with students from Atlantic, Cape May, Hudson, Middlesex, Monmouth, Ocean, and Union counties. I do think I saw at least 1 Monmouth and maybe 1 or more Union counties signed up, or students signed up for this. So this would be your counselor, and that is his contact information. And then we are lucky enough, we have a recent Sacred Heart graduate that has volunteered to join us tonight. So I'll let Anthony Smith kind of introduce himself and talk a little bit about his time at Sacred Heart.
Hi everyone, my name is Anthony. I am a recent graduate from Sacred Heart. I'm from East Hanover, New Jersey, so hello to all the New Jersey people, especially the East Hanover Florham Park kids here today. I went to Oratory Prep in Summit for high school, ended up at Sacred Heart in Fairfield. I double majored in business management and finance and double minored in honors in Spanish. As you can see on the screen, I was quite involved on campus. I was involved in student government. I served as president of the class of 2020. I was a student ambassador. I was part of our campus ministry and peer ministry programs. I was a member of Greek Life. I served as an orientation leader for the past 2 years, and all different parts of campus, all different parts of involvement. So at any point, maybe toward the end, if you have any questions about how to get involved on campus or anything about business as from a student perspective, feel free to ask questions, and I look forward to helping answer them. And I hope you enjoy Sacred Heart today.
Thanks, Anthony. Anthony, question real quick. I know, and this might have been associated with student government, but I know one of the characters from Drake and Josh came to campus about a year or two ago to speak, and you were the one on stage interviewing him.
Yeah,
correct?
exactly.
Was that through student government?
So sort of. So it was part of our student events team, which is part of student government. So I was on the executive board sophomore year, and we kind of do all the programming on campus, all the free programming for the full-time undergrads. And we actually got Josh Peck to come to campus, and I was kind of the one that led that mission. They were like, Anthony, do you want to interview him? And I was like, yeah, I guess. So I interviewed him in front of almost 800 kids at Sacred Heart, and it was the most awesome experience. He put me in his vlog, most down-to-earth person I've ever met. And that's just like part of all the free programming that Sacred Heart puts on. It's like big names come, fun, cool events that you'll actually want to go to.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Definitely a highlight.
Yeah. Is that on your resume?
It's not, but it's on my LinkedIn.
Okay.
So kind of.
So we'll all be here, everyone, until the end. So if you guys have any questions, specifically for Anthony, if you're looking for kind of the student perspective on anything, he'll be here to answer questions at the end. And then Katie and myself will be here for any admissions related or other Sacred Heart related questions too. So I will kind of get started with the rest of this presentation. And like I said, I'm going to start with kind of academics, then go to extracurriculars, and then end with some application information. So first off, I thought I'd start with some fun facts. So Sacred Heart University was founded in 1963 by the Diocese of Bridgeport. We are the first Catholic school in the United States to be founded by the lay people, and that is why our mascot is the Pioneers. If you haven't seen the Pioneer Man, definitely follow us on social media. We're pretty big on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You'll see lots of pictures of Big Red, who is our Pioneer mascot. We are the second largest Catholic university in New England. And enrollment-wise, we have a bit over 5,000 undergrads. And then with part-time and graduate students, the total enrollment is a little over 8,000. So kind of diving into the academics here, I'm going to go through and kind of lay out how our academic programs work. We have 6 different colleges of study, and I'll go through each of them. And then if you guys have questions, if I'm not thorough enough, ask questions in the chat and we can come back to those at the end. So our 6 different colleges of studies are first, Sciences. That's our most popular college on campus. It's the largest, it has the most majors, and it has 2 schools within that college. We have the School of Communication, Media, and the Arts, and we have the School of Social Work. The second college is the Isabel Farrington College of Education. The third is the Jack Welch College of Business and Technology. That college also has a school within it, which is the School of Computer Science and Engineering. I know a lot about the Jack Welch College of Business and Technology because I am finishing up my Master's of Business Administration program at Sacred Heart. And Anthony was also a business and finance student at Sacred Heart too. So if you have questions, again, we're here for you. The college is the Davis Henley College of Nursing. The 5th is our College of Health Professions. And then our newest college of study is St. Vincent's College, which really only houses associates and certificate programs. This was a college in the area that Sacred Heart acquired probably about a year and a half ago. So they have programs like radiology, and now Sacred Heart has partnered and owns them. So between these 6 colleges of study, we have over 60 majors, minors, and concentrations. You can come in as an undecided student. So if as I'm presenting on this, you're internally panicking because you might not know what you want to do or study in college, that is okay. Don't worry, you have time. We also have over 40 master's and doctoral programs, and we do have several accelerated bachelor master's options as well. Our average class size is actually quite small. It's about 22 students. Faculty ratio is 13:1. I do want to emphasize we are definitely not a school with large lecture halls. You definitely will get individualized attention in the classroom. You will know your names, you will know your classmates' names, and you will not just be a number at Sacred Heart. So now I'm going to dive into kind of each college's study here. So first, I'm going to talk about the College of Arts and Sciences. So as I mentioned earlier, this is our largest college on campus because it houses the most majors. It also, so you can see all the majors listed here, but I do also want to emphasize that our pre-health advisement program is housed in the College of Arts and Sciences. So if you are a student that's looking to go pre-med, pre-vet, dental, pharmacy, PA, those would be housed in this college. And that is because many of our pre-health students will major in bio or chem, which is housed in this college. So the pre-health advisement is also housed here. As mentioned earlier, we do have 2 schools within this college. So the first one is the School of Communication, Media, and the Arts. We have these undergraduate programs: communications, digital communications, media arts, and then we also have theater arts, and then art and design is broken down by 3 different programs: art, graphic design, and illustration. The second school that is within this college is the School of Social Work. I don't have a slide for it because the major is social work, and then it has a master's program for social work too. So I didn't feel like that needed to be listed out, but we do have a whole school dedicated to social work at Sacred Heart within the College of Arts and Sciences. So for any students who are going to be in any of those majors I just mentioned, this will essentially be your home for a little bit. This is Martiri. It's our Center of Arts. This building is still fairly new. It's not our newest building on campus, but I would say it was probably built about 3-ish years ago. I wish you could see it, but on the right-hand picture here on that ground floor, we do have an Einstein bagel. So if you're running to class and you're hungry, you can stop and get an Einstein bagel right there on the first floor. This is a great building. I, as a master's student, have actually had class in this building, and I really enjoy it. So the next college I'll talk about is the Isabel Farrington College of Education. So for any of you who are interested in education or teaching, this may be the college for you. In the state of Connecticut, you actually have to receive a master's level degree in order to teach. So because of that, we do have a 5-year program at Sacred Heart in the Education College. So it's 4 years undergrad and then 1 year of graduate work. There are 2 essential options you can go with education. You can do elementary primary education, or you can do secondary. So primary is for kind of the littler guys, K through 6. Secondary is 7 through 12. So if you're interested in primary education, you're likely going to major in either interdisciplinary studies or interdisciplinary studies STEM if you want to teach at the STEM level. So math, science. And then if you want to teach at the secondary level, at the high school level, then you're going to work closely with colleges on campus. This college, the College of Education, but also the last college I talked about, the College of Arts and Sciences. And that is because you will pick a major that is your specialization. So if you want to be a history teacher, you're going to major in history. If you want to be a math teacher, you're going to major in math, and so on. But you would still work closely with the College of Education. And then I do want to touch about our 5th-year internship program in the College of Education. So essentially, once you receive your bachelor's degree, you're going to begin your master's coursework that summer. You're going to do a 1-year internship and a student teaching program in a Connecticut public school, while also taking education courses at the master's level. So at the end of your 5 years, you're going to have a bachelor's degree and a master's of art in teaching and a certificate through the state of Connecticut. Of reciprocity in several states. The master's degree program is 39 credits, but 30 of the 39 are going to be paid for in the district that you have your internship in, which is a pretty good deal. All right, so the third college I'm going to talk about here is one I know very well and one that Anthony knows very well as well. So the Jack Welch Business of Technology, we've kind of separated out the business majors and the technology programs. So these are all of the majors in the College of Business and Technology. And we do have one school within this college, and that is the School of Computer Science and Engineering. So about a year ago, the School of Computer Science and Engineering entered into the Jack Welch College of Business, making it the College of Business and Technology. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of at the end of my Master's of Business Administration program. I've been doing the program part-time while I work full-time for the last almost 3 years. And I will tell you, there are several accelerated bachelor masters in many of our colleges, but MBA, the program I'm in, it is pretty popular for some of our business students to stay on for that accelerated 5th year. So one thing that's important to talk about with our College of Business is our West Campus. So for any of you out here who know who Jack Welch is who our business college is named after. And Jack Welch was the former CEO of General Electric. He actually just recently passed away, just this spring actually. But he was the CEO of General Electric, and General Electric's headquarters were just a quarter of the mile down the street from our university. About 2.5 years ago, they up and moved their headquarters to Massachusetts. And at that time, Sacred Heart decided to acquire that space and make it our campus. So now it houses all of our College of Business and Technology programs at the graduate level and also at the undergrad level. It is a phenomenal space. It's huge. And Sacred Heart has put about $30 million into the facility in the last few years with renovations and making it look kind of less like a corporate headquarters and more like classroom space. So you could walk there if you wanted to, but I would say most students take the shuttle. We do have a shuttle system. We call them the Shoodles because we're Sacred Heart University Shoodles. So many of our students will take the Shoodles to West Campus instead of walking, and our Shoodles come every 10 minutes. So we all have an app where we can kind of track where the closest Shoodle is. So, yep, that's the home to the Jack Welch College of Business and Technology. And on this next slide here, I'll show you some other photos. So you can kind of renovations that have been done here. So this is kind of some examples of the classroom space here. We do have an artificial intelligence lab, which is the picture to the left. And then a picture to the right is kind of what one of the standard classrooms looks like over there. I will tell you the technology in these classrooms is phenomenal. I took a corporate finance night class last trimester, and my classroom looked just like the photos. When we were presenting, you know, we had our PowerPoint and the projector behind us, but there are screens on the opposite end where you can actually read off of, so you're not kind of turning around while you're talking and presenting, which is pretty neat. So really new facilities, new technology. And then for any of you who are interested in computer science or engineering, we do have an idea lab over there as well. Pretty neat. And then one other thing I'll mention about West Campus is that this spring we entered into a partnership with Verizon, and we rented them some space in our West Campus, and it's called the Verizon iHub. So essentially this has opened up some internship opportunities for some of our students. They also have several office spaces within the Verizon iHub, so that any startup companies that are looking for office space can run out space there, which is kind of a neat opportunity for our students that intern there. They kind of get exposed to that early on before they graduate from Sacred Heart. So that's something new that we incorporated last semester. All right, the next college I will talk about is the College of Health Professions. So the College of Health Professions has 3 undergraduate programs. Communication, which is linked with speech-language pathology. So if your student is thinking SLP, communications disorders would likely be the major for you. And then we also have exercise science and health science. We have several master's degrees within the College of Health Professions. We have athletic training, exercise science and nutrition, healthcare informatics, occupational therapy, physician assistant studies, public health, and then speech language pathology. And an important thing to note is that all College of Health Profession graduate programs have to align with one of those undergraduate majors. Some of them are a little more flexible, occupational therapy. I believe you can do social and psychology as well. And then we also have a doctoral program, physical therapy, and we have 2 options for physical therapy. You can do accelerated 3-3, which is 3 years undergrad, and then 3 years at the doctoral level, or 4-3, which is traditional. And then the 5th college I'll talk about is our Davis and Henley College of Nursing. So I will tell you, this is our most competitive college at Sacred Heart, and that is because it is our only direct entry program. So our GPA and test score requirements are a little bit higher for College of Nursing than some of the other colleges, and this college is not transfer friendly. So you cannot become an undecided student at Sacred Heart and transfer into nursing. You have to apply by our College of Nursing deadline, and I'll go over the application deadlines at the end of this so that you guys can write down the appropriate dates. But yeah, so essentially, this is a direct entry 4-year program. It's fairly competitive to get into. Last year, the admissions committee was looking for about a 3.7 and up GPA. We're a test optional institution, so you don't have to submit test scores, but those who did for the College of Nursing, we were looking for about a 1200, 1250 or above. It's a great program. They start sophomore year, which is great. We have several hospitals within the surrounding area that we partner with for clinical rotations. Our nursing students can study abroad. I know that is kind of rare at some colleges and universities, but we do allow our nursing students to study abroad. And we do offer extensive NCLEX preparation tests, and we had a 97% or higher first-time NCLEX pass rate for 5 years. And then we offer a master's for nursing as well, an MSN, and a doctorate program for nursing as well, a DNP. And then, so this facility here, this is our Center for Healthcare Education. So if you are a student who is interested in any of the healthcare nursing majors I just mentioned, this is where you're kind of going to be, housed. So this is also a fairly new facility. Just opened, I guess, a little less than 3 years ago now. It opened in 2017. It is located a mile down the road from our main campus. So our students take the shuttles down to the Center for Healthcare Education, just like they would to West Campus. It's a pretty neat facility. So the whole facility was modeled after modern day hospitals and medical centers, so that those students who, were learning about nursing, exercise science, communication disorders, health science at the undergrad level kind of got that real world experiential learning experience. I'll show you some more photos here. I would say there is no shortage of mannequins in this facility, and they are very lifelike. Some of them are named. I know that they have a mannequin over there named Victoria that they can program to give birth for nurses that are learning how to assist in the birthing process. But they can program these mannequins to have all sorts of types of diseases for our students to cure. And then in that top right photo, that is our 3D cadaver lab, which we have over there as well, which is pretty neat, very modern technology. And then if, as I've been going through these colleges, you've been internally panicking because you're not sure what you want to study, that is okay. We have plenty of students that come in undecided. We definitely have resources available for students that are unsure, and we're there to assist you and help you kind of find the right major for you. I like to tell my students, no one graduates without a major, so everyone will find where they fit. You do have until mid-year sophomore year to declare. So if you're a rising junior in high school right now, you've got several years before you have to declare a major. I did want to talk real quick about our honors program. I know Anthony was also in the honors program. So this is a program for our academically dedicated students. We do have higher admission standards for the honors program. I will tell you, this year we were really looking for students with a 3.9 and above GPA. We were looking for students that had honors and AP courses or IB courses, any rigorous coursework that your school might offer. And that they were doing well in those courses. Test score wise, we have been requiring test scores for the honors program in the past. That's the only sort of program on campus where students had to send test scores in. But due to the pandemic this spring and with SAT and ACT tests being canceled, we're not going to offer, or we're not going to require test scores for the honors program. So if you're a rising senior, you're interested in the honors program, we're not going to require test scores this year. One of the perks of being in honors is that you can live in an honors living learning community, which is housed in Bergoglio and Toussaint Hall, two of our newer residence halls on campus. And it's kind of nice because all the honors students will be on the same halls together, and they have classes together. So it's kind of nice having like-minded students around you in a living learning community. Honors students will have an honors advisor that will guide them throughout the process, and then those students will take honors courses in place of our gen ed requirements, and we'll do a capstone project. There is an honors scholarship available for those students that qualify, and it's an extra $2,000 off tuition per year. So study abroad, I'm gonna guess there's probably a couple of you out there that are interested in studying abroad. So at Sacred Heart, we're actually lucky enough that Sacred Heart University owns 2 global campuses. So we have a global campus in Dingle, Ireland, and we have a global campus in Edinburgh. So both of our Sacred Heart global campuses are in Europe. If you do not want to study abroad in either of those locations, that's okay. We do have 60 affiliate programs in 30 countries around the world. But I would say Luxembourg and Dingle are probably some of our most popular. This photo is a group of students who studied at the Dingle campus. And for any of you that are interested in health professions or nursing, I know Dingle is a pretty popular option. For study abroad, you can go for a full semester, you can go for a summer term, or you can go for a 2-week winter term. There are some 2-week summer term options, but those are kind of the options for students to study abroad. And then for incoming freshmen, I wanted to take the time to kind of make note about our first year experience program. So we have something called FYE, first year experience, and it is a class that meets at the beginning of your freshman year. It meets for the first 8 to 9 weeks. It's not taught by a faculty member. It is taught typically by some of our staff members on campus. I know some of my colleagues have taught the class in the past. But essentially it's to help with the transition from high school to college. So it focuses on time and stress management, understanding yourself, building resiliency, and kind of making the most of your college experience. All freshmen will be assigned a freshman advisor. They're there to kind of help you through the beginning of your collegiate academic career. You kind of start meeting with them at orientation. So should you end up being a student that commits to Sacred Heart, you will attend an orientation in June. And that's where you'll first kind of have contact with your freshman advisor. Then once you declare a major, you're going to be assigned a major advisor, and then they're going to work with you up through graduation to make sure you're taking the right courses for your major. All right, so that's kind of my wrap up of academics. let's focus a little bit and talk a little bit on campus life and getting involved. So I would say we have a very involved campus community. And you know what? A good college experience is defined by how you use your time, right? It's all about time management when you get to college. So we have over 60 different clubs and organizations. Some of the more popular ones include student government, academic clubs, Greek life, athletics, performing arts, campus ministry, and volunteer programs. If you are a student athlete at SHU, we have several options. So at Sacred Heart, we are a D1 school. We have 32 NCAA varsity sports, and then we have 35 club sports, as well as several intramurals. You know, if you're a student that's looking to play sports in college, but maybe you don't want to be at that D1 level, club sports might be a good alternative for you. And club sports are still pretty competitive. All club sports have coaches, and they play and travel. So that's something to consider too. I usually tell my students that club sports is kind of a D3 equivalent. And then at the D1 level, we are in the Northeast Conference, the NEC. And then we also have intramurals as well. Another big kind of cohort group we have on campus is performing arts. So to kind of put it in perspective, we have over 800 students involved in performing arts. We have about over 800 students or some 800 students, some that are involved in D1 athletics. So performing arts is just as big as D1 athletics on campus. So I think that's pretty unique about Sacred Heart. We definitely have one of the fastest growing programs in New England. We have bands, we have orchestra, we have guard programs, we have theater arts, and then we have 3 different dance ensembles, several choir programs, and then there is the possibility of scholarship associated with performing arts pending an audition. So each of these different performing arts programs, they have a different dollar amount for students that want to be involved. And then as an incoming freshman, you would audition for those programs. Campus ministry and volunteer programs are 2 other popular extracurriculars on campus. I did mention earlier we are a Catholic institution. That does not mean you have to be Catholic to attend Sacred Heart University, and that doesn't even mean you have to be Catholic to be involved with campus ministry. Sacred Heart's campus ministry program is open to all students regardless of faith. They host several annual retreats, and Anthony, I think I actually see you in this photo. That's kind of funny.
That is me, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, the peer ministry, interfaith opportunities, and if you guys have questions about campus ministry, definitely let us know, because we have someone who is very involved in campus ministry with us. And then we also have volunteer programs. So I would say we're definitely a big community service-based school. In 2019, Sacred Heart was ranked number 13th in the nation for community service engagement by the Princeton Review. So we are very proud of that. Collectively, community last year, Sacred Heart students spent over 100,000 hours worth of time towards service projects, both locally and globally. When there is not a health pandemic going on, our volunteer program department has taken students to Guatemala for service trips over spring break. I know they've done Jamaica in the past, and then we also have a rather large Habitat for Humanity chapter on campus too, and they do alternative spring break trips. I know many times they've gone to Appalachia, so areas of Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, I believe South Carolina as well. So definitely a lot of service opportunities for students to get involved with if that's something they're interested in doing on campus. And we do have a scholarship specifically for incoming freshmen that are interested in service. I'm actually one of the point people in our office who reads for those scholarships. It's called the Pioneer Service Grant. So if you are a student who has any sort of service background in high school and you want to be involved with service at the college level, you can apply for the scholarship. You have to be an accepted student first, so this wouldn't be until spring of your senior year. And then should you get that scholarship, you get a scholarship in You get a $1,000 scholarship off tuition in exchange for doing hours of community service through Sacred Heart affiliated programs your freshman year. And you have all freshman year to complete those 30 hours. So we do have Greek life at SHU, so I wanted to take a little time to talk about Greek life. We have 9 sororities, 4 fraternities, and we have about 1,800 students involved in Greek life. So, you know, it's not large enough that it dominates campus by any means. I would say we're not a school where you're not in Greek life, it's like you have nothing to do. It's absolutely not like that. So Greek life is big enough that it's there if you want it, you don't have to take part in it. But every Greek organization is associated with philanthropy. So again, if you're a student that's looking to be involved with community service, Greek life might be a good option for you because they work with philanthropies. And we do not offer Greek housing on campus at Sacred Heart. So let's talk about residence life. So at Sacred Heart, we have a 2-year residency requirement, which means you have to live on campus the first 2 years of college. So freshman and sophomore year, you live on campus. After that, we have opportunities for on-campus living all 4 years. But I know several juniors and seniors who like to move off campus and maybe live in the surrounding residential area with their friends. So it's really up to you what you want to do after sophomore year. You can stay on campus or you can move off campus. Right now, we do have virtual campus tours available of our residence halls, and we are right now in the process of building a new residence hall called the Upper Quad. The Upper Quad is going to be 4 residence halls that are all going to connect. The first 2 just opened this past January 2020. We had students move in for the spring semester. The second 2 residence halls are what we're finishing building right now, and those are scheduled to be open by 2021. Now, the Upper Quad is going to be all upperclassmen living, so sophomore, junior, senior. And I do think some of our more of our upperclassmen may want to stay and live on campus once those are finished. All right, so I'll get to kind of the last piece to my presentation here. We're going to talk a little bit about the application process for those of you who are rising seniors. So we are a Common App exclusive school, so that means that you have to use the Common App in order to apply to Sacred Heart University. The Common App will open on August 1st. You do not need to apply that early. I'll go over each of our deadlines. But I think one thing that's really important to note is that we have set notification days. We are not rolling admissions. So do not feel like you have to apply on August 1st when it opens, because you still won't hear back until your set notification day. You won't hear back sooner because you applied sooner, if that makes sense. So we have 2 decision plan options. We have early decision and we have early action for this upcoming year. So our first deadline is not till December. So again, you have plenty of time after our application opens August 1st. But early decision is really for those students at Sacred Heart is their top choice. They love Sacred Heart. They want to go there no matter what. It's their #1 school. If that sounds like you, this may be a good option for you. And some of the benefits to early decision are that you hear back much earlier. So you have to apply by December 1st, and then those students hear back by December 15th. So it's a pretty quick turnaround time. We do require interviews for students that do early decision, and that is because students who apply early decision are essentially signing a contract stating that they will attend the institution if accepted. And then our next options are early action 1 and early action 2, and these are non-binding, whereas early decision is binding. So our early action 1 deadline is going to be December 15th, and then those students will hear back by January 31st. And that's the deadline for the Davis and Henley College of Nursing. So if you are a student that wants to apply for nursing, write this down, circle and highlight it. December 15th, early action, that is your decision plan. Unless Sacred Heart's your first choice and you want to go early decision, that's okay too. You just have to apply by early action 1. And then the last option is early action 2. So this is also non-binding. This is application plan, and those students, they're required to apply by February 1st, and they'll hear back by February 15th. And those students will hear back on a rolling basis. Whereas the first 2 options, you have a set set notification day. So our requirements for the application process, we require your high school transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation. Typically, I tell my students, it'd be good to have one from a school counselor. The other one could be from any sort of coach, teacher, mentor. If you're a rising senior, it might be a good time now to start thinking about who you would like to write your letters of recommendation. We require interviews with an admissions counselor unless you're applying early decision or binding plan, but it is highly recommended. And we do offer several interview options. And even if you're a rising senior right now, we've already started offering virtual interviews. So if that's something that you're interested in, you could go to our website today, go under the visit link, and sign up for a virtual interview with your assigned admissions counselor. As I mentioned earlier, we're test optional, so you do not have to set in an SAT or ACT score, but you can if you would like. And then these listed at the bottom here are the average GPAs for accepted students. So you can see for our colleges that are not nursing, so arts and sciences, business and technology, health professions and education, the average GPA is about a 3.4 for an accepted student, whereas for the College of Nursing, it was at a 3.7 this past year. Some other information real quick. If you're a student taking any AP courses, if you get a 4 or a 5 on the AP exam, that course will transfer to Sacred Heart and it'll be right on your Sacred Heart University transcripts. We also take IB credit, so if you get a score of a 4 or higher, same deal. That course will show up on your Sacred Heart University transcripts. And then if any of you are doing any dual enrollment or college level or taking any college level classes in high school, if you get a C or better in the course, it'll transfer to Sacred Heart. I know that's pretty popular in certain parts of New Jersey. I know in Bergen County, the SUPA program through Syracuse is pretty popular. So just know if you get a C or better in the course, it'll transfer to Sacred Heart. And then here are some links, or here's some, it's a little bit of financial aid information on this slide. So what I will tell you all is that we do have, oh, went too far. I will tell you we do have a merit-based scholarship system. So almost every student who is accepted to Sacred Heart will receive a merit-based scholarship from us based on their GPA and grades from high school. And this past year, this merit-based scholarship spectrum ranged from $6,000 to $17,500. So if you're an admitted student to Sacred Heart, you'll see right away in your acceptance package what your merit-based scholarship is, should you qualify. And then there's other grants available. I mentioned earlier, we do have a community service-based grant. We do have grants also available for band, choir, theater, and dance, and the honors program. And then these are some things, oops, went too far. These are some things that are probably important to note for parents out there. To be considered for financial aid, we do require the FAFSA and the CSS profile. If you are not familiar with the CSS profile, it is on College Board, and we look at both. You know, the FAFSA is for federal financial aid from the government, whereas CSS profile we use for institutional aid at Sacred Heart. So that's really, we need to see both forms. And you can begin filling out those forms October 1st. And then lastly, here is some other little tidbits of information. Here is our link to apply. Like I said, the common application will open August 1st. If you are interested in kind of getting the ball rolling with meeting your admissions counselor or learning more about Sacred Heart, it's great that you signed on for this webinar, first of all. But we do also offer virtual campus tours right now, virtual information sessions, and virtual interviews with your admissions representative. So if you're a senior, the interviews are for just rising seniors, whereas the information session and the virtual campus tours are for anyone. So if we have sophomores or juniors that have tuned in today, those are open to you as well. check your emails, and then follow us on social media. We are very active on our Sacred Heart Admissions Instagram. So that is the end of my presentation there. I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And I think this is probably a good time, Jenna, where we can start looking at questions. And if Katie and Anthony want to chime in on any questions that are being asked, that would be great too.
Yeah, so we just have one question so far because I think the other two you answered. For education, is there a special education or teaching English as a second language TESOL major?
No, so special education I know requires a master's program. Our education program has been in the talks of starting said master's program. We do not have one yet, but if you check back 6 months to a year from now, we may have started the implementation process for that.
Great. I just chatted the group, but I didn't mean to chat the panelists about just everyone can ask questions as they come in. Are there religious or chapel requirements?
Yeah, we do have one religious requirement, and it's that students take 2 religion courses, right, Anthony? Yeah, and it can be, you don't have to be Catholicism based. You can take theology, you can take world religions. What classes did you take for those, Anthony?
I took Christian spirituality, but like you said, it's theology or religious studies, so it's not necessarily Catholicism based. It could be anything that Sacred Heart offers.
Cool. Does Sacred Heart do ROTC?
We do have an ROTC program. We do partner with another university in the area. So this is something I didn't mention during the presentation, but freshmen are not allowed to have cars on campus. You can start bringing a car sophomore year, but if you are a freshman in the ROTC program, there is a little travel involved, so those students can have a car freshman year.
Okay, good. How many students are enrolled in the honors program? And I guess we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a good question, Anthony. Maybe you can.
I'm not sure. I mean, it takes up 2 whole residence halls now. When I was first starting off, and it was probably less than 100. Now I'd say probably close to 200, right? I mean, between Bergoglio and Toussaint, maybe a little less.
Yeah, that's a good point. So our incoming freshman class right now is close to 1,750 students. And you just brought up a good point. I think we had close to maybe like 180 to 200 students that were offered an accepted admission to the honors program. So yeah, it's probably grown a little bit since you were a freshman, Anthony.
Yeah. And I know you said this in the presentation, but one of the biggest perks is the priority registration. Like you register ahead of all your classmates and you get almost guaranteed to get into those classes, which helps a lot.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the scholarship.
Good. So how many students are admitted into the nursing program? And I guess that's a question from Samantha. My question would be, what's the acceptance rate if you do let people know that?
Yeah, so kind of like I mentioned during my presentation, the College of Nursing is more competitive than our other colleges on campus. I would say this past year, we got close to 2,500 applications for the College of Nursing. No, wait, I'm sorry. That might have been the year before. This year, I think we got close to 2,000 applications for the College of Nursing. Katie, am I making this up? 1,700? I know the acceptance rate for nursing is about 35 to 40%. The math here. So we accepted about 800 students to the College of Nursing this year. So let me do the math on that. 8,000 students. Yeah, that would be close to 3,000 applications. So I was correct. Sorry, I was second guessing myself for a second. So close to 3,000 applications, except kind of 35-ish%. And then we end up enrolling close to 300 students in the College of Nursing. Now, I will say our College of Nursing has grown a little bit over the last few years. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, we were taking like 220 students into the College of Nursing and then 250. And now we've added more faculty options and more clinical rotations so that we can offer 300 students each year into the program. So we still have small for nursing, even though 300 are coming in now. And as I mentioned earlier, the GPA requirements are a bit stricter. So we're looking for kind of like a 3.6, 3.7 and above. We're looking very closely at your math and science courses. A's and B's in math and science courses are definitely important. And then I mentioned the test scores, but I think, this year with the SAT and ACTs being canceled, we're test optional. So if you're not comfortable sending in test scores, or if you didn't get a chance to take your test scores this year, don't sweat it because you don't have to submit them.
Good. Yeah, I was going to actually ask that question since I know things have changed a lot. So a student asked, are there lots of internship opportunities for finance and business majors?
Yeah, there's so many options. With our Center for Career and Professional Development, there's actually 2 staff members dedicated solely to the Jack Welch College of Business and Technology. So they're working only with those students in the college. It's also a requirement as part of the College of Business that you have to complete at least 1 internship throughout your 4 years. And there's also a prep course that's a brand new prep course for those students that you have to complete before interning. There's opportunities in Fairfield, there's opportunities in the greater New York City tri-state area. I recently completed an internship with the local commercial real estate field, and the Center for Career and Professional Development really helped me get that internship. Obviously, it was a little bit different because of what we're going on with the pandemic. So it was part in person, part not, but it was still a great experience. And they're with you to help you throughout the entire experience.
Good. So if people still want to ask questions, but I have a question for Anthony. Can you tell a little bit more about like the social aspects, like what you do for fun on the weekends at Sacred Heart or around Sacred Heart?
Of course. So I can say this with 100% truth and honesty. There will never be a point when you're at Sacred Heart when there is nothing to do. There is constantly programming going on. There's always free events, whether it's concerts, DIYs, people coming to campus, speakers like we talked about Josh Peck. There will always be something to do. We're not a suitcase school. People actually want to stay on the weekends because you're going to have FOMO if you don't stay. You're going to miss out on something. So people are always here. People don't go home on the weekends. There's just honestly so much to do, and you're going to find something you want to do. Like, I came into college. I would have never thought I was going to join student government. I ended up becoming president of my class. That was something different for me. I stayed involved in campus ministry and peer ministry. I couldn't have told you the difference between a fraternity and a sorority because I never even really knew what Greek life was. I ended up joining one. So there's just so many different opportunities, and you're able to join more than one thing, which is great. You don't have to dedicate. If you want to join just one thing, that's fine, but there's so many different opportunities for you. And we really push that within your first few weeks with part of that FYE first year experience class.
Good. And can you talk a little bit about like coming from East Hanover and kind of like what the layout of the city, the town, like there's beaches nearby, there's New Haven nearby. People might not know a single thing about Connecticut other than watching Gilmore Girls or something.
So I never even realized that Fairfield had a beach. I mean, it's a beach, but it's the Long Island Sound. It's not the Jersey Shore. Connecticut people try and say that, but it's definitely not. I'd really compare downtown Fairfield to more people maybe near Morris County, like a Madison, or maybe a downtown Summit. It's a beautiful area, a lot of good Italian restaurants and shops. It's very, very close. We have the Shuttle, which Courtney talked about, to go there. There's also Uber and Lyft if you don't have a car your freshman year. But there's just so much in the area, and the drive is really, really easy. Pray to God that the Merritt doesn't have any accidents or any traffic. But it's from my door to my door at Sacred Heart about an hour and a half. It's the perfect drive. My big thing was I didn't want to go somewhere where I was a plane right away. God forbid if it was an emergency, or my parents wanted to come visit, or vice versa. An hour and a half was the perfect happy medium where I feel like I'm far away, but I'm still so close.
Good. We just got another question. How big is the campus ministry? And then I'll give you the second part to that.
So campus ministry definitely takes on a big role on our campus. Specifically, campus ministry puts on multiple retreats throughout the year. There's a specific retreat for freshmen within the first 3 weeks for students to really get to know each other. We also are in charge of staffing all the masses, putting on different events. And like Courtney said, it's not just Catholicism based. We welcome all faiths. We have members. We also have an imam, and we also have a rabbi on campus for our Jewish and Muslim students.
Okay, yeah. So that was the second part of that, asking if they have Jewish students or a Hillel
Yes.
nearby.
I'm not sure about being nearby, but I'm sure we definitely do have students of all different faiths. So I'm sure it's in the general area because there are definitely residents of Bridgeport or Fairfield, Trumbull that are different faiths other than Catholicism. I know down the street we have a beautiful Greek Orthodox church. That's just an example.
Okay, good. And I know we have another like 2-3 minutes. So if anyone has any last remaining questions, here we go. Could you talk about the nearby city? Everyone always does it at the end. Could you talk about the nearby city? How far are you from a suburb or a city?
You want me to take that?
Sure.
Yeah.
You've done it so eloquently.
So Sacred Heart is in Fairfield. So downtown Fairfield's about, I'd say 15 minutes away by car. The closest city, I guess, would technically be Bridgeport, which is right down the road. Other cities might be Stanford or Norwalk. Those are about 20, 30 minutes away. But really downtown Fairfield, greater Fairfield area and Trumbull will be the two cities you're mainly in. And like I said, there's just so much to do, whether it's on or off campus. We also have the Trumbull Mall right down the street. The shul is part of its path. That Cheesecake Factory, Wahlburgers, Target. There's a Stop and Shop nearby. So everything you possibly need, the shuttle will take you to. It's Fairfield's a beautiful, beautiful city.
Okay.
I think your comparison to Summit was spot on. It is a lot like
Right?
Summit. So for
It
any
was like
students
deja
that
vu
are,
coming from oratory.
yeah. So any students in the area, it is very similar to Summit. A lot of like good restaurants, cute little quaint area.
Well, also it's nice because you could take the train to the city, right? To New York.
Right. There's a station right in one in Bridgeport, also one in Fairfield.
Yeah. So that's really nice for students that, don't want to miss out on their city life. So it's good. Yeah. I've been to Sacred Heart. I loved it. I love, you guys kind of mentioned this, but I just feel like it's like everything is new and you guys keep building and it's expanding and it's awesome. Any school that's doing that. I always tell people when there's construction going on, that means that something is coming on the other side of that. So, but it's great. And one of the things that was cool, like for students that might need more specialized attention, they have that tutoring center, and it was like one of the only schools, I could be wrong when I learned this, that like you can walk in at any time and get free tutoring in the same way that someone that has like some sort of learning difference would get like very, very specialized attention. And most schools, like you have to pay extra for that. So it was cool to learn about that because I'm sure a lot of students like the sound of free editing and tutoring, and especially when it comes to writing, not everyone is a strong writer. So, okay. Oh, someone asked, how many out-of-state students?
Yeah, so at Sacred Heart, we have students from all 50 states and 32 countries right now. I will say a majority of our students come from out of state. So our 4 primary states are New York is first, then New Jersey, then Connecticut, then Massachusetts. So those make up a majority of our student population. But like I said, there are students from all over the country. Last year, New Jersey, we brought in about 340 some students from New Jersey. This year, we're about 330. I will say New Jersey has become popular over the last few years, especially in northern New Jersey. But yeah, we're mostly out of state right now.
Okay, awesome. Do you guys have any last remarks?
One thing I didn't really talk about too much in my presentation is food on campus. And I know, Jenna, you've eaten on campus, so you can attest to this as well. We've all eaten on campus, Katie and Anthony too. But we've got some good food on campus. We use Chartwell's, but we do have a New Jersey themed diner on campus. So just so you all know, our university president is named John Botello. He's a New Jersey native. And about 2 years ago, he said, I want a New Jersey themed diner on campus. So we built him a New Jersey themed diner. So it's bright red, it's got a nice shoe red, it's got a big bow tie out on the front of it. And they do serve Taylor ham / pork roll. I don't want to offend anyone. and Katie's giving me the finger, and disco fries, and like milkshakes. A lot of fun diner food. So I feel like that was one thing that I didn't bring up in my presentation, but just wanted to let you guys know we do have a New Jersey themed diner on campus, and we're one of 3 schools in the nation that have our own campus run diner, which is pretty
Nice. Awesome. Anthony, any closing remarks?
I was just going to say, like, as beautiful as the pictures are in the presentation, I can't tell you the amount of, it is true for myself too, but the amount of tours I've given where families have come and been like, wow, like, this is not what we expected. The pictures don't do it justice. Like, I know right now the circumstances are different, but as soon as it's safe to, please come to campus and give us a shot and come and look, because you'll be amazed. You're going to fall in love with our campus. When we say, you ask any single student, they're going to say the one word that describes their experience is home. Like, Sacred Heart does become a second home to every single student on campus. And you feel that community when you're on campus.
Great. Katie?
I would say that this time can be very stressful, kind of this whole process. Don't think too much about it. We're all here to help. I think any admissions counselor would be happy to answer any questions, welcome you with open arms, whether it's about the university or just the process in general. That's kind of what we're here for, to kind of step-by-step guide you through this. So don't be afraid of us. We are here to help.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Sacred Heart. We're going to conclude this. I just wanted to plug, this was, I have a busy week of college spotlights. So Sacred Heart tonight, South Carolina tomorrow. We're also doing a presentation with how to take advantage of college applications this summer, since I know a lot of you are home this summer. Clemson on Wednesday, Tulane on Thursday, Northeastern on Thursday. So quite a busy week, but I'm happy to have Sacred Heart kick it off and to all wear our red. Thanks for having us. It's been great, and I'm sure a lot will apply as always. So thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.